are in disagreement. It is not doubt. There's no doubt about that. And there is even a criticism word here in the Quran which talks about false writers, or books that are false, books that are not from the God, but it is made by men or written by men. All these books are written by men. But what I think they want to say here is the authors, the author of the books. Okay, but it doesn't really say that. Let me read it first for us to get a gist of what I'm trying to say here. And then we can be clear. In Surah 2, Surah Surah 2, it says, "Then woe to those who write the book with their own hands, and then say, this is from God, to traffic with it for a miserable price. Woe to them for what their hands do right, and for the gain they make thereby." Writing something and saying it is God who wrote it. Even the Quran is written by men. Men were writing it. If God was authoring it, men were writing it. So it's not saying here that those who say things, saying God said it. By saying those who write, translation is about write. It's written here, English words. It's not about me making it up. Those who write the book with their own hands, in so many words, I believe that even in the Bible, the only written words from God's own handwriting was the 10 Commandments, according to the Bible, not according to me, according to the Bible. In the times of Moses, one of the prophets in the Bible, which is also mentioned here in the Quran, there was a 10 Commandments that God wrote with his own hands. And there was a time also God wrote with his own hands on a wall, probably in the Babylonian time, something like that nature. One of the kings experienced, God writing with his own hands. There was what we call Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I think in that period, or either Daniel, at that times, God wrote on the wall. But apart from all those things, there's no evidence to those things as far as I'm concerned yet. Maybe there is, but no, I have no knowledge of that. I just know the story. It's all written. Now, what the Quran is saying, whether the Quran itself was written by God, that's a different thing. You see, it's not, I don't know where it's written that the Quran was written by God. It was not written by God. If it's admitted that it's written by God, then there's a good grounds of argument there. But as far as we are all concerned, or I'm concerned, it's not written by God. All these books, that this one I have here, was published and written by what? Abdullah Yusuf Ali. Now, he somehow brought it all together. Muhammad was reciting and somebody was writing. Muhammad did not. Even if Muhammad wrote it, Muhammad isn't God. So the Quran, the Islamic people will even agree that even Muhammad as a prophet is not God, and he himself cannot write the word of God. Write a book. And lo and behold, according to them, he didn't even write a book. Neither did they say Jesus even wrote a book. Neither did we say any prophet wrote any books. There's no claim in the Bible to show, except Paul, who they saw as a learned person who they believe wrote something. Even that is not so clear whether he wrote himself, but probably he did. But apart from that, I don't think all the writers here, or the writings in this book, was handwritten by God. It wasn't handwritten by God. So this text here has got something that needs to be really figured out. In Surah 2, Surah verse 79. Surah verse 79. Here you got it there. The statements are very clear. It says that it is wrong to handwritten write something or write a book. Woe unto them. Woe, warning to you. Write the book with your own hands. you're writing a book with your own hands. It didn't say you're writing something with your own mind or something, your hands, which is clearly explained, and then say this is from God, and then you tell people this is from God. To traffic with it for a miserable price. Woe to them for what their hands do right, and for the gain they make thereby. So I want to justify that, even though this one was written by hand, by men, it was from God, and this one is not false. That is obviously what is being said here. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, handwritten is handwritten. If God wants to present something, he can write it and present it. God can even make rain fall, with his books fall like rain. His handwritten words coming down onto men. Nothing prevents God or Allah to do great things like that, which is very important. If it is so important to God to reach a man's heart and to turn man from doing something evil that he hates, and God demonstrating his love and his responsibility and care towards his creation, nothing stops God from doing that, doing something which is good and right, by allowing his words to reach us, not through the hands of another fellow man. God does not discriminate. I believe Allah does not discriminate also, because if we say they're the same person, there's no discrimination. But even in this book and the disputes, you can see that they are not the same person. It's either they are not the same person, or this is pointing finger at that, at the Bible. But I'm not sure that the Bible point finger at this. There is also prophecies from the Bible which reveal Jesus saying that the false prophet will come after him in the name. He will come in my name. So even in the Christian world, there are others that will point Islam as a way of antichrist way of movement to sort of take over or sort of take control over life, human life. But the complications will go on, and I'm going to point out to you to understand that those prophecies are easily taken wrong. People normally take it wrongly, and I myself find myself taking it wrongly too. Now, the valuable thing here that we do here is to reveal the unveiling trap, bringing it out there to the public. What is it so trappy? What is so evilish? What is so sinister about people, or about life, that should be somehow be openly discussed? That I'm trying to. This is what I will think you probably will ask. Now, what it is that the culture and the human being and the religion that comes along with us is not just a body of a person. It is more to do with spirit, and it is people who ends up presenting these things. And so, no matter how we see it, if I say friendly trap, religion, both Islamic and Christianity or Buddhist, whichever, does not come to you in a form of an enemy. They come in a friendly gesture. You know, that character that presents itself very nice, very apologetic, or let's say very embracive, very calm. But in every way, I'm proving that there is the carnal side of it. And that is the whole idea. A thief or no evildoer will not come before you and present to you that I am an evildoer. Maybe there be one or two, but mostly that's not how it will present itself. So I expect people or myself to view things in that way, so we can really think along the line of having an open mind approach to what this discussion is about. If we talk of God and we've not seen him, there is a greater chance that people will dwell on that and take advantage of the situation. Even if in the sense of a man, in the